Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely felt like the old days of just the Seahawks and 49ers just going back and forth. It's 2019 version, and a lot of great players on that field tonight. And I know a lot of people probably had to stay up and watch it, but it was worth watching.
Russell Wilson, the guy who led the Seahawks to one of the most unlikely victories.
I couldn't even see him, that camouflage jacket. Where was he? That is unreal.
Hey, let me tell you, if you're gonna do the Veterans Day tribute, right? You can throw on the NFL issued salute to service gear, or you can go get yourself a camouflage, and I think that looks like it's velour or velvet. I like that. I could not pull that off. I am willing to say I could not pull that off. You could not pull that off.
No.
Russell Wilson can pull that off.
You're right, and I forgot about the Veterans Day connection. It's early in the morning, but that's exactly why he wore it, and it's a kind of a good it's not so under the radar tribute there, but it's something. It's an unbelievable jacket. All right, let's go.
And
let's
after
talk
that
about
game,
football.
Well, first of all, let me say hello to everyone out there. It's PFT Live, NBC Sports Radio, NBCSN. We have to say greetings as usual to our friends in the UK and in Ireland, and they're making all sorts of suggestions about the next time we make a bet. When you try to get me to wear Kirk Cousins' jersey again,
right.
There are ideas as to the or else for you. One of our friends in the UK suggested that you should have to wear a Jim Harbaugh jersey.
That will never happen on any occasion ever. I have standards. I will never wear his jersey for any bet. So we can find something else, but it won't be Jim. I can tell you that.
Bears or Colts? I'll let you decide which one. All right, let's get to it, though. Last night, it was a great, great game, a memorable game. Chris, you nailed it, top of the hour. Game of the year, really. Yeah. Find a better game this year. Find a more impactful game. You got an 8-0 team against a 7-2 team, and they traded punches. This was Rocky 2, right? I mean, knockout punch after knockout punch, back and forth over and over again until we finally got to the end. And the swings were incredible. It all came down to overtime, and it looked like the Seahawks were going to win with a touchdown on the opening drive of overtime, just like they did a week earlier against the Buccaneers. Then the incredible interception by Dre Greenlaw. How many balls did we see Seahawks defenders not catch?
Right.
Greenlaw made that catch look easy.
He did.
And then I thought he was going to – Chris, did you think he was going to run it in for a touchdown? I thought it was over right there.
I did. I thought it was deep trouble. The way he took off, and then I went, I hope Russell Wilson gets up in a hurry to make it over there. And then I saw him get blocked, and he made a little cutback, and I went, oh, gosh, he's going to go to the house. But they did rally to tackle. But – like, Mike, the Apollo, Apollo Creed, Rocky 2, all of that, that's really where I want to start the conversation. To me, that was the number one thing that jumps out to me about the game. The physicality. I think it was one of the most physical football games I have watched in a while. I mean, they were out there hitting each other on both sides of the ball. And the 49ers this year have out-hit everybody they've played on their schedule. Steelers gave them a little run for the money, but they still even out-hit them, and that's saying something because the Steelers usually out-hit everybody too. But the Seahawks came in and said, hey, wait, we're used to being the bullies in the NFC West. Like, we're ready to hit too. And they let it be known, and the master of F the play up was hitting people everywhere, and here he goes with the picking up the fumble, Jadeveon Clowney. I was just glad to see everybody got to watch him on a big stage and how dominant he can be because he's been doing this for about the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but last night it seemed like he found a higher level. It was his best game by far with the Seahawks. He was dominant. He was destructive. He was disruptive. And, Chris, look, and you're right, there's so many different ways we can take this. Let's go ahead and crap on Jimmy G for a minute here. We had said all year at some point he's going to have to step up and play. And he made some plays against the Cardinals when the running game wasn't as easily there as it had been. And he had to make some throws and deliver the victory that Thursday night a week and a half ago. But last night it was all on him. And it was a different offense without George Kittle. It was a different offense once Emmanuel Sanders exited, and Jimmy Garoppolo could not carry it.
Well, yes, he had his moments, and like you said, I mean, I don't know. What do you think there was, realistically? Maybe 3 or 4 dropped interceptions in the game, basically, by the Seahawks? I mean, there was 2 on the very last drive of the game to kick the game-tying field goal to send it into overtime. Now, the other interception we just showed there that went through, Bourne's hands, that wasn't his fault. He also, let's not forget this, it's 21-18, and they're down there again in the area at that point trying to tie the game. and they have Bourne drops a third down pass that's going to give them 1st and goal at the 4 or 5. But if you're watching on TV, this first out route to Bourne, yeah, that wasn't Jimmy G's fault. Yes, he's not a superstar. He's still working his way through. What do I want to say here? I'm not concerned about him, but I'm still not sold that he can carry the team in these type of moments, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But here's the thing, and we know football teams do this every year. They evaluate every position. They take the name off the back of the jersey, and they make that tough decision if need be that it's time to consider an upgrade. And as the 49ers were winning game after game after game after game, the notion that Jimmy Garoppolo is in a make-or-break up or out year fell by the wayside because they're winning.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Right.
But if he becomes the weak link offensively, if he becomes the weak link among all of the players who are on the field offensively and defensively, and you have a contract where the way you've structured it, you can take until April 1 to make a decision, at a minimum, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to look around and see what their options are. How can you not, if you think that if you could upgrade the quarterback position, you go from being a team that gets knocked out in the divisional round or the NFC Championship because this same kind of thing plays out where the quarterback can't step up and deliver in a big spot.
Sure.
And you consider what you can do for 2020.
Well, sure. Yes. I mean, if we continue to see these type of moments, that time will come. I think, though, still, as far as last night's concerned, I don't think I'm going to panic yet. Now, you said it, Jimmy Garoppolo, it wasn't great. Was he the weak link on the field? I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say Joe Staley at left tackle was the weak link on the field last night, more than anything. I mean, that was an issue. And then, hey, we do have to mention no George Kittle, no Emmanuel Sanders. Those are big injuries for that football team. George Kittle is by far their best offensive weapon. Not having him out there was huge. It takes away a huge aspect of their football game planning, all the things they do off of their run game, and then feature Kittle on play action passes and boots and other little creative ways. So I'm not hitting the panic button yet. There were still some good things that Jimmy Garoppolo did. I'm not going to go there yet, but it is still a little bit in the let's continue to evaluate this guy and see where it goes from here. And if we see 3-4 more games like this and they come up on the short end of them, then you're right. Come March, they're going to have some conversations, but I don't think we're there yet to hit the panic button.
I'd love to know what Marquise Goodwin did to upset Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he was a healthy scratch for a couple of weeks once Emmanuel Sanders arrived. He dressed last night. He had 3 targets, no catches. He's just become the forgotten man in that offense, and they must believe that they just can't count on him when they need him. And, the running game, they couldn't count on it last night either. They threw the ball 46 times, ran it 27 times, and once they fell behind 21-10 and it looked like the Seahawks were going to pull away, I can understand why you're leaning on the pass, but when you get the lightning strike 8-point play from that goofy exchange where Russell Wilson's being sacked, the ball pops into the hands of Jermaine Ifedi.
Right.
He decides he's going to be Jerome Bettis instead, and then the ball gets punched out. DeForest Buckner scores. It's 21-18. I felt like at that point you could try to get back to running the football and try to reestablish there, but they still leaned on the passing game more than they should have.
Yeah, well, I agreed. I mean, it's as much as we've seen them lean on the passing game all year. But the big thing is, and, I thought the guys on the telecast, Booger McFarland did a good job at least of saying, hey, the Seahawks they're crowding the line of scrimmage. They're calling the 49ers bluff, basically saying, we dare you to throw it. We're going to dare you to. And because of that, I think Kyle Shanahan saw some of those looks, and he said, man, it's going to be tough sledding running the ball tonight. And he decided to go another direction. But, again, even with that game plan, it accentuates even more that there's no Emmanuel Sanders and George Kittle. And back to your Marquise Goodwin thing, I think the Marquise Goodwin issue more than anything is he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's just a deep shot. Let's run him on a post route. Let's run him on a go route. And these other receivers he has right now are kind of more versatile and able to do different things for their offense, so he can mix and match, and you can't really get a telltale sign on, oh, this guy does this and then that guy does that. With Deebo Samuel, Bourne, Emmanuel Sanders, they can all do everything, so you don't know where they're going to attack you. But regardless, I mean, I can't get over the game. And the defensive players in this game, holy cow, it's one beast after another. It's the Oregon tree trunks in the middle, Bosa, D. Ford, Clowney, Jerome, Ron Reed. I mean, holy cow, was it unbelievable. Some of the hitting. We had it all last night. Fumbles, great plays, annoying refs. It encompassed it all in the NFL.
And there was a great sense of timing by the San Francisco defense. They would step up and make a big play on Russell Wilson and just engulf him in bodies on a third down.
Yeah.
Right? And there weren't a ton of sacks, but they would happen at a time when the 49ers needed them. And a credit to that offensive line and the way they designed the play. Keep Russell Wilson from spinning and sprinting out of the pocket like he always does. That's what Mike Zimmer does when he faces Russell Wilson, but also the pressure up the middle to close the deal. Once you prevent him from doing the trademark spin and escape, then you bring somebody up the middle and he can't do anything. Yeah. Now, look, he still played well. The Seahawks did enough. It wasn't spectacular.
Yep.
They got 89 rushing yards out of Chris Carson. They had a good, not great performance from DK Metcalf, the rookie receiver. Jacob Hollister stepping up with 8 catches for 62 yards. And 2 big catches for Josh Gordon in big spots, third down throws to Josh Gordon. Not the kind of thing that's going to excite fantasy owners, but the kind of thing that's going to excite Seahawks fans. If he becomes the guy you can count on third down,
that's right.
You have an element that you were missing with the retirement of Doug Baldwin.
Yeah, he is. He's a go-to guy in those big situations. And, you know, we saw Brady go to him a lot over the last 2 years in those type of situations. You know, he scares you. You know, DBs are always going to be on their heels a little bit because they'll go, oh, he might run by me or he might catch a back shoulder. And then he runs a slant route or something in breaking, and he's very warm and cozy for a quarterback because he's a giant human being. He's one of the biggest receivers you'll ever see on the planet. And so when he runs a slant or a post route, you just feel like, wow, his big body, his long arms, his radius, it's going to be hard for a defender to break that ball up if I just throw a semi-accurate football. And that's where he came in clutch for them last night in the fourth quarter.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.